Welcome to the introductory episode of Portals to Miracles. This is a new series I just felt called to start. It's for people who want to move forward on their dreams, who want to create miracles in their life, but they're unclear on how to start. So this is for you if you are someone who wants to create more prosperity in your life, who wants to live more on purpose, but you're unclear on how to do that. You might be in a life transition and you're searching for a redirection, or you might actually be a parent and you have someone young under your care and you're here just looking for answers on how to support them on their life path. As I said, this is my brand new series and I'm calling it Portals to Miracles. In this introduction session, I will just talk about what miracles really mean and what co-creating miracles will look like in the years ahead. And I will talk about the secret, which is not so secret, that we will all need as technology keeps accelerating. If you've been with me for a while, you might remember I ran a workshop around uncertainty and raising families in uncertain times a while ago. And I talked about the superpowers you will need to thrive in the unpredictable future that is near. And one of the superpowers that I talked about was your authentic soul gifts. And what these are your innate superpowers that you are born with, that if you give them space and you give them agency and you nurture them so that they play out in the world around you, that's how miracles will get co-created. Because when you show up in your soul gifts, what that means is that you are allowing the miracle of life to flow through you, from you to others. So I really want you to know this, like you are more than this bag of bones and muscle and blood. You are even more than, your thoughts, your emotions, more than your energy field. What you are a space where the miracle of life happens. That's what you are. That's what each and every one of us is. We are the space where life happens. And that in itself is the miracle. My intention with this series is just to share what I know and to inspire you, to give you hints about the gold that is already inside you. And that will help you strengthen your trust in yourself and in the universe. And I call this portals because I want you to think of them as portals, as doorways with like the highest possibility on the other side. And the moment you choose to open this portal, you are willing to actually consider that these higher possibilities can exist for you. And when I was thinking of how to put this series together, of course, I always fall back on the language of the archetypes to help me see the highest potential possible. And I did do another video on this around how the archetypes, they help us see see the highest possible outcome because they're so, extremes. We can look at them for inspiration. Now, for this particular series, for this Portals of Miracles, the archetypal modality I chose was the codon rings of the Gene Keys. Now, you don't need to know anything about the Gene Keys to follow along with me on this series, but I was inspired to use the codon rings as a structure, as riverbanks for me for this series. In November last year, I attended the celestial chemistry event with Richard Rudd in London. And he says that the codon rings are the FAQs of the universe, like the frequently asked questions of the universe. And you can ask them any question that you have, and they would give you the answer. So the codon rings are like arrangements of the gene keys. There's a total of 22 codon rings. So I'm going to be doing 22 portals to miracles. Again, as I mentioned, you don't need to know anything about the codon rings or about the gene keys to follow along. You'll be following along with me. When I was contemplating how to do this, I did imagine the codon rings like as a spiral that is spiraling upward, and the sequence of the particular sequence of which codon ring to start with sort of came to me. So I'm going to follow a certain sequence, which sort of builds up on top of each other. One important thing that I also want you to know is that, okay, I am looking at the codon rings for as a structure, but I'm also grounding all this back into Mother Earth. If you've noticed in my branding, I'm using the fern as a spirit guide just to help me stay grounded into Mother Earth and bring all this into practical everyday insights. The codon rings can be way out there. They're very, celestial. And sometimes what is needed is to bring that insight back into 3D form. And the thing about me, about my journey, is that I did fall into the trap of using all this as an escapism, like to actually escape the human body that I am in. Yeah, I looked at the mystery of the stars and the spirit world and like all these, higher planes, but I used to use these to escape my 3D reality. And my biggest lesson on my journey was to return to my body, to return to the third dimension, even if it's painful. And it can be painful. A bit of background on me, like I was born in Lebanon, and I grew up in a time where there was a lot of civil wars, a lot of unrest, and I could feel the collective pain around me, and it did not feel good at all to be in this human form. And I'm talking here like when I was very young, less 2 years old, 3 years old, and I didn't have words and I didn't have understanding of what was going on, but I could still feel it. I could still feel the tension and the fear in the people around me. And like the only place I found solace in was in nature, in the garden, with my pet cats. Like I was a child who liked to collect pebbles and small shells. That was my nature. Um, that's where I found peace and I found joy. But when I looked at people and the events around me, all I saw was turbulence and pain and division, and there was a lot of disrespect to life. So while growing up, um, while trying to make sense of all these things, what I started doing, I started condemning humans, um, like just seeing them as people who don't appreciate the beauty and like the awe of the nature around us. And there was in me this judgment towards people that humans are just, they're not doing right. And like that judgment formed around when I was 12 or 13, and it stayed with me throughout my teen years. And I like that story that um, you know humans are disrespectful. They don't deserve the joy of life. Now, of course, life put me through these ups and downs, and the hand of grace working its work, and I fell in love, and I became a mom, and down this journey, I realized that wherever I'm judging others, I'm also judging myself. So whenever I'm judging the darkness in other people, I was also judging myself. I was judging the darkness in me, uh, because that's the thing. We're all connected. We are all one. We are all part of this whole collective body. And when I'm in denial and judgment of the dark things that I see outside of myself, then I'm also in denial of myself. And I couldn't feel whole enough. So for me to return to inner peace, I had to start questioning like all those stories that I created while growing up, all those beliefs. And I had to start retelling the story about the human condition. And I took it upon myself to go on this quest to like bring back the appreciation to being human, and to bring back the innocence of being human. And like I started looking at the soul gifts of humanity in the same way that I saw the divine reflected in nature, and in the same way that I saw, life reflected in the sky, the stars, the clouds. Was I willing to see this divine reflected in human beings themselves? That was my journey, and it still is. And that's why I've created my coaching services for parents and teens. Um, that's the teenage years are the age group where all these beliefs are forming, where all these stories are taking hold. Um, so for me to like be able to guide someone who is going through that phase of life and to give them inspiration, like that's so meaningful for me. And I do want to say what helped me on this journey were the gene keys as an archetypal modality. Why, in particular, the gene keys? Because they gave me language to articulate the feelings that I was feeling, the thoughts, the um, like it just gave me language. It gave me words. So that helped my mind understand it. And when my mind was sort of understanding it, when my mind saw what I was feeling, it saw it reflected in the gene keys, like in the shadows and the gifts. So that's when my mind started to loosen its grip, and it started seeing what else is possible and dissolving my limiting beliefs. So that's why I chose the codon rings for this series. I will be contemplating the codon rings as I go. So I am contemplating each portal as I go. And these are based on my perception, my experience, my point of view. They're not going to be necessarily true for you or for everyone else. They're just true for me. And my invitation is for you to just listen, see if it sparks anything inside you, and like take them and contemplate them on your own in the special way you contemplate. Like I really want you to find your own truth. Um, and on the other hand, I'm also inviting you not to take this too seriously. Just have fun with it. Like I want you to think that I'm here providing a big sandbox for us to play in. So I am giving you the sand. You get inspired by what I share. You see me building my sandcastle, but then I want you to also jump into the sandbox and you start digging in and like getting your hands dirty as well. Uh, the only way for you to know what's true for you is to actually go in there. And now I'm going to wrap this up with the secret, which we will all need to to thrive in these upcoming times, especially with AI and, the frequency, the pace at which the technology is really accelerating. So in this age, I think what is going to be more valuable than anything else is your frequency as an embodied human being. That's the new value that's going to emerge, the human element. And the more embodied you are as a human, the more prosperous you are. See, AI is gonna, it's already replacing all the tasks that sort of that don't have this, in genuine human element. Now, I think this is what AI is doing. It's like it's taking the tasks that keep us distracted from our true nature. And that's a good thing about AI. And I don't know, some might disagree with me, but AI is making it very clear on what humans came here to be and what they came here not to be. AI is making it very clear so that we can see it, so that we can um, wake up and realize these things that we've been doing since the ages, they're actually distracting us from our true nature. Um, our true nature as embodied human beings, what it means that our soul gifts, they are activated inside us. They are playing out in the 3D reality around us. And we are actually experiencing the impacts of the soul gifts on a material level. That's what an embodied human being means to me. And our soul gifts, they are called gifts because they are meant to be given to others. See, these gifts are not for us. Your gifts are not for you, they are for other people. But in a way, they are also for you because they move and grow through reciprocity. When you're in relationship with other people, you are giving to other people. It's natural for other people to give back to you. That's that's the nature of reciprocity and prosperity, because in the end, it's like it's an exchange between you and others. And if we start living in a world where each and every one of us is playing out their soul gifts, they're giving, they're receiving, there's a mutual relationship between everyone, there's just this organic reciprocity that gets to happen. And our world until this point has been built on scarcity, has been built on competition, comparison. Like all this conditioning has made us forget this very like basic fact that, prosperity is just reciprocity between it's that authentic reciprocity. And in the end, true success is not about individual achievement. It's about the collective achievement. Like true success is a whole planet that is thriving in harmony. We are part of the whole. We cannot exist as on a solo level. We're always connected to everyone else. We are part of like something bigger, and every one of us is playing their own unique role. It begins with the consciousness we choose to embody in this human form. Uh, as I said at the start, you are a space where life is happening. So, really, I want you to see the divine reflected in you. Of course, you have the free will to ignore it, to deny it, to just sit on the bench and watch. But you also have the free will to acknowledge it, to appreciate it, to be in reverence for this miracle of life flowing through you. And you have the free will to trust it and to play, come into the field. Don't just sit there, come and play. And once you are willing to do that, You'll be amazed at the magic and the synchronicities that happen. This is how miracles get co-created, when you are willing to play. So I'm showing you the first step with this Portals to Miracles series. I'm showing you 22 portals. Um, Subscribe to my channel to get notified. Keep an eye on the first portal. It's coming soon. And I will end by saying that, portals are always around us. And we only see them when we're actually listening. And the moment you notice the portal and you recognize it for what it really is, you're already halfway through. Okay, thank you for listening. Sending you so much peace. See you soon.